Live from our studio in Atlanta, Georgia, this is the A1 Trading Daily Show. Whether markets are rising or falling, we're here to keep you up to date with the latest market news. Join us as we trade currencies, commodities, and indices live, Monday through Friday.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another live stream, and not just your average live stream. Today's a big live stream. Today, we've got CPI numbers coming out here in the United States and likely to cause some serious volatility in the markets. Let's jump right in. Let's talk about what is happening today in terms of expectations, positions that I've got on. I would like to ask for you guys as we get started here. There's already 366 of you. As we get started here, do two things for me, if you don't mind. Number one, hit the thumbs up button on the stream. Help us out. Let's get this thing blown up. We're about to watch the reaction together. We will be streaming all the way through the spike and after and talking trading, setups, ideas, things that I'm trading myself, all that. And then the second thing I'd ask for you guys to do in the chat, let me know, what are you trading this morning? GBPJPY long, Euro USD short. Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear what you guys are trading here. So I'll give you guys, as you do yours, I'll do mine. I am currently looking at an S&P 500 buy. I am already in this trade. I've been in this trade, and I'm trailing stops as we go into the event. Let me know in the comments here, in the chat here, what are you trading? What are you in going into today? Now, let me give some heads up in terms of my position. We have about 10 minutes to go before the numbers actually drop. Let me give you some clarity as to where I am at. Now, I am not here, and I say this every news event because you get these, you get people who are newer to this stuff, and I want you to be aware. I'm not here to trade the spike. I'm not here to gamble on what I think the news is going to do. The CPI number is expected to come out 4.1%. Inflation expectations have been, seeing decline is sort of the forecast. We'll see if that plays out. I am here to react, not to predict what news is going to do. I currently hold a long position. I picked this up last week on Friday and have been holding it since. It's rallied very nicely, and I have officially trailed my stop loss into profit just below this market structure. So this is what I'm trading right now. And again, I want to see what you guys are trading. So let's get some feedback. So we got Euro USD long, gold long, NZD CAD long, US 30 long, GJ long, and EJ short. I'm long on Euro Yen, not yet in the trade, but my bias is long. Fair enough. Dollar CAD, pound USD long, gold, US oil buy, gold buys. Cool. Cool. Yeah. Thanks for the feedback, guys. Always cool to just see what you guys are trading. So again, I'm long S&P. This is a trade I'm in. So currently floating $1,200 on this trade with the understanding that I could give back some of this profit here today. When you hold, everybody who's in here who has a trade open, you need to be very aware that news, when it drops, could very much impact your trade positively or negatively, even if you're trading something like GBPJPY. Because the U.S. economy is so important to the global economy that it will impact almost everything in the markets. Oil, gold, every currency pair to some degree will react to this news. Some less than others, but still, it's very important news for the global economy. So where am I at? Again, I will trail out of this trade if we break structure to the downside here today. If we get a big shot to the downside, which would, by the way, likely be on higher than expected CPI numbers. So if we get very, very high CPI, like high inflation readings, the S&P, NASDAQ, Dow probably falls pretty quickly, right? And in that case, I need to go ahead and get out. So I have my stop loss. My entry was back here, so I'm in a profitable trade. I can't lose money on this position. Great spot to be in. Obviously, I wish I was in it all the time. It'd be trading would be a breeze, but I've got a nice trade running here. And that is what I am paying attention to most as we go into this event. So we'll come back to the S&P. Let's make sure we hit up some of the other things that you guys are watching. I saw a lot of people talking dollar, a lot of people talking gold. We will certainly be taking a look at those things here as we get started today. Now, again, quick look at what we're coming up on. We have 7-8 minutes here to go until we have CPI numbers coming out. Notably, what we're going to be paying attention to is core and, of course, the year-over-year inflation number. Expectations are for inflation to rise by 4.1%, which is down from its previous 4.9% reading year-over-year. And core is expected to remain unchanged. What you need to understand from a basic fundamental perspective, if this number is higher than expected, the dollar will rally, gold will sell off, most likely. News can be a little fickle, but this is generally how it would work out. 4% or less, 4.1% or less, really. You might have some upside on equities. You might have, so S&P, NAS, those things. And you might have some upside on gold. You might have upside on dollar crosses like euro dollar, pound dollar. We are not sure what the news is going to be. We are here to react to what's going to happen and trade forward after that, right? A lot of times people come on these streams and they say, Nick, what's going to happen? I don't know. I am not a crystal ball owner, but if you have one, hit me up. I'd love to buy it from you. But anyways, the point is we trade the reaction. We react to what's happening. And right now, here's a thing that you guys need to pay attention to if you're watching the dollar. We're sitting at a key support level, and this key support level is either going to act as support here today, or very likely we're going to get a decision point here. What I mean by that, we don't know what the CPI number is going to be, but we probably get some directional bias here following the numbers, right? So if CPI comes out very cool, meaning 4.1% or less, very possible we see the dollar crack through the lows, and all hopes for hotter than expected reading could very much impact the dollar negatively, in which case I'm looking for gold longs. I'm looking for, currency pairs to go against the dollar potentially. But we need to also be aware that if CPI comes out hotter than expected, if things are tight and stubborn, which they have been, so this is a very possible scenario. If we solidify support here, what I'd be looking for in terms of bullish optimism for the dollar, we've got to start seeing higher highs, higher lows. Now, again, I'm not a dollar bull, so this is not what I want to happen. But if I'm going to be convinced of like a short-term bullish run, bearish price action needs to get kind of beat, right? Right now, bears are in control. Bears are finding resistance point like this, and they're taking it. So for something to flip, we would need to see breakouts the other way. Let's have a look at gold here, guys. And remember, when the new spike happens, we will be watching not just the spike, but afterwards. That's where I actually look to adjust trades, trail stops, enter positions if I like something. We have lots of stuff, right? Nick, what's your offer for a crystal ball? Well, first you gotta show me it works, and then I'll pay whatever you want. If you had a crystal ball that could predict everything all the time, you'd be divine. Anyways, gold, right? What I'm looking for is if we do have dollar weakness, can we crack the 1970 mark, right? 1970 breaks, retests. 1980 breaks, retests. These are trades that I've been looking for myself. Again, gold has stagnated. We've kind of gone sideways for a little bit. I haven't been trading it. I'm looking for, as I've mentioned, we had a conversation with Kenzo on Friday about this. Gold for me, I've got to see the breakout, right? We get the breakout. I'm all for looking for more upside here. Okay. So, so strong CPI would mean strong XAU. That is a common, misunderstanding. It's a little tricky. A weak CPI, like a high reading in CPI, if CPI was high, it would actually push gold down a lot, right? Gold would go down because that would mean that the Fed is more likely to raise interest rates tomorrow, or perhaps the July meeting that's coming up as well. Higher interest rates put a lot of pressure on the metals market. So yes, it's a bit confusing because you would think, oh, high inflation, that pushes your gold up. Not really, because again, high inflation means the Fed's going to crack down on it, which does put a lot of downward pressure on gold. So what we're looking for in terms of gold bulls, CPI numbers to come out cooler than expected. 4.1% year over year for headline or less would be potentially bullish for gold, in my personal opinion. And I am looking for, again, breakouts to see if that can occur. I'll certainly be looking at that as a trading opportunity if we get that today. Now, if it does just sell off, if we have a hot reading on CPI, then I'll be, I'll be very careful with that. Looks like in the chat, a lot of people are looking for a dollar to go down. Careful, inflation is still hot worldwide. Wouldn't be surprised to see dollar spike up. Patrick, that's the thing. We don't know, right? We are just really going to be reacting here together to the news number. I think that, you know, the interesting scenario is that if you get a soft reading, I think you have a lot of upside, and I'll be looking for pullbacks on things like euro against the dollar, pound, gold. I'll be certainly holding on to my S&P 500 trade as best I possibly can, right? That's currently what I'm trading the most right now is the S&P. So these are things that I'm looking for. I'm looking more for sort of a confirmed number to give us a direction. And then I'm looking to trade it. Look, I'm looking for pullbacks. I'm scared. Don't be scared. If you're scared going into an event, reduce your position sizes. That's what I'd say. You shouldn't be scared. You know, if you're scared, if you're nervous, not the spot to be in. Be very careful. What's up, Garrett? Good to see you, my friend. Don't trade now if you're scared yet. No, you shouldn't be scared going into an event like this. Of course, it's exciting to see what the numbers are going to be, but you shouldn't be scared about what's going to happen. So I'm, like I said, where I'm at with my trades, I am currently trading the S&P long. I picked it up on Friday. It's still running very nicely. And my opt out or my I need to get out of the way moment would be if we break back underneath what the resistance point that we broke out. We had a clean move here yesterday. If that reverses and breaks back under, I'm out of the trade and I'll take my profit. Of course, I would be giving back a lot of the profit that I've made, but I'd be okay with that because, again, I want to see what happens with the CPI number. We are, by the way, guys, we are about 1 minute out. So let me make sure I get my charts set up and so that we don't miss the move. But remember, we have a lot of stuff after the news. That's where things get interesting. Many people leave the stream right after the news spike. Do not leave because that's where things actually get interesting. That's where I'm able to look for trades and do my thing. So we've got euro dollar top left. Let's do gold top right. And let's do S&P bottom right. And let's do euro, gold, S&P. Let's just do a generic DXY here in the bottom left. So we've got dollar index bottom left and S&P bottom right should be good to go there. So let's do our breaking news here. We are 30 seconds out, coming at you soon. All right, guys, we got about 20 seconds here to go. Again, gold bouncing around here. Got about 8 seconds here to go. News is about to come out. Let's see what we get here for CPI numbers today. And the number is in. We're seeing gold come down briefly for a moment there. Euro flipping in both directions here. Dollar shot up and then came right back. Euro now rallying. Gold now rallying. S&P now rallying. Oh my goodness, look at this, guys. We must have had something come out. Let us know if you guys have the numbers. Oh my goodness, look at this. The S&P shooting up. Did I stay in my trade? I did. Very nice. Back up above the previous highs, about 1571 on this trade. Not wanting to quit here. That's awesome. So let's see what the numbers are. It must have come out here. There we go. We had 4%. Oh my goodness, 4% year over year. We did actually beat expectations for inflation. This has got to be bullish for stocks. Bullish for stocks, bullish for gold, bearish for dollar, big time here. CPI month over month came out 0.1. Core came out as expected, 0.4%, cooling as or sort of stagnating as expected here. You've got 4% year over year compared to the 4.1 and previous 4.9%. This is a solid reading here this morning. And there goes the S&P. There goes the euro. Gold up, dollar taking a beating here, and does seem like we have actually broken through the lows. What a move here this morning, guys. What a crazy, crazy push here to the downside for the dollar, and definitely feeling good about my S&P trade here this morning. We are 1550, 1500. Let's see if we can hold that 1500 profit on this particular trade. Very, very nice. Great for some of my other options trades and that sort of thing. You can see up 3200, 3300 on the day right now. My silver for those of you guys who are in the group, I sold puts yesterday on silver, so that's probably doing pretty decent as well. If only every day was that easy, right? We would all just be sipping pina coladas on the beach every day. But trading is not always so good. There are days where, it's the exact opposite, right? You have to take the good and the bad. Silver making a move here. Gold, again, finding its legs here, pushed off the lows, big wick off the bottom. The question, though, for gold, and we're going to have Frank to talk about gold, and I think in a moment, we'll bring him in after this. But, gold trying to get back above that 1970. We got to see it close, I think, above that for the shorter term, for the, the 4 hour, the 1 hour chart traders, to really be convinced of a bullish move here. But again, that CPI number, man, I'm thinking that this has room to break out higher. 1970 seems like it could break with such a cooling CPI number. This is exactly what the market ordered for bullishness on gold, for S&P 500, for NASDAQ. I mean, this is what the market wants to see in terms of Fed outlook, right? Because this is saying, hey, Fed is going to probably pause tomorrow with the Fed meeting, and perhaps even increase the probabilities that there's a possibility we do not see a further rate hike in July. Again, we can't get ahead of ourselves, but this is another solid number to get us in that right direction. It seems like the Fed may be winning in what it wants to do. So we will do some more stuff on that in just a moment. Before I do also want to say, guys, this trade, as well as all of our other trades, are called out inside of the group. If you guys are not already inside of the Discord and you would like to join the Discord, you can see all the trades being taken by myself, by Frank. We are in here, and we also do coaching webinars with Ivan. Many of you guys know Ivan. He comes in on the streams regularly. If you guys are not already in the Discord, we called out all of the trades that you guys see me talking about on these streams. If you want text notifications when I take a trade or when Frank takes a trade, who will be joining us in a moment, make sure to take advantage of our half off sale. We have never done this before, and we are doing it right now. 50% off. If you click the link that's in the chat right now and direct message someone, they'll give you 50 to 50. I think they actually will. If you message us right now, you might get more than 50%. They have some of our representatives here at A1 Trading are currently in office and ready to help you out. If you message in right now, I think they can get you 55. So if you message, you can lock in 55, but you have to do it right now while we're on air. They are in office. So you have to do it while we're in streaming. If you watch this back at a later time, you can still message in to see if you can get access to it. But again, click right here, click that link. This is what it's going to do. It'll open up a chat message icon. So it opens up right here. Click this link. It'll take you to this point. Click chat now and click 50% off VIP signals. This is going on right now. And you actually, by messaging us, will get an even bigger discount for a limited time if you message us right now. So there you go. Take advantage. Come join us. It's been an incredible couple weeks here. We've been catching a lot of gold trades and a lot of S&P trades. So if you're interested in trading those things, as well as currency pairs and even options now, I've been trading a little bit of options in there as well. All of that is available inside of our Discord community, which you can find linked in the chat and in the description. So real quick, guys, again, gold here, S&P is still red hot. I mean, I trailed my stop loss before the news here to lock it in, and we did not actually even challenge that so far. The day is young. We're still retesting the highs and seeing a bit of reaction. We'll see if that can come back down lower or if we're going to hold strength here. So yeah, I mean, this is where I'm at. We've given back some of the profits here on this trade, about 1340 on this one. And so we'll see if that can, how this candle closes will be very interesting. This is a 1 hour candle that I'm looking at right now. So yes, should be very interesting to watch how this goes forward. And plan is to just keep trailing a stop. I don't know where the top is on this S&P, and I would be very keen to find it, but I'll just wait to see what happens, right? I'm reacting, not predicting. So I'm trailing a stop. Would I be interested in adding to this trade? Probably not. The S&P has been red hot, so I'm just trailing. I'm letting this trade run. As long as we stay above structure, I'll look to continue holding it on the long side. About $1,400 on this trade currently. Did that link work for you guys? For those of you guys who are messaging in, make sure this link works. You can click that link. It'll take you to the chat icon where you can ask for the 50% plus discount by messaging into the support center right now. Yeah, just hit the link. Thanks, Angeline. Appreciate you. Yes. So let's bring Frank in here in just a moment. Right before we do, we'll do a quick break just to shout out a sponsor, and then we'll come back. We've got some gold commentary for the gold traders out there. We're coming right back to gold here with Frank in just a moment.
Attention A1 Trading Show fans. If you're interested in getting free access to the Edge Finder or our premium trade alerts, listen up. For a limited time, our show's partnered broker 8cap is giving out free access to our products when you sign up for a new trading account with them. If you already have a broker, you may want to consider switching to 8cap because of their low trading costs, a wide range of trading assets, and their amazing customer support. If you'd like to get access to our software and Discord server for free, click the link being dropped in the chat right now and ask one of our team members for more information. Don't miss your chance for free products and an award-winning broker. Now, back to the A1 Trading Show.
All right, and we are back with my good friend. What's up, Frank? How are you?
Hey, how's it going? Congrats on that S&P trade.
Thanks, man. It's running. Are you still in a gold trade though?
I am. I'm still holding on.
Nice.
Yeah, floating profit, but
I was
the
going to
run
say you're
hasn't
probably
really
looking pretty good. Tell us just a little bit of where you're at with that gold trade, and what's your reaction to this number today with such 4% compared to 4.1.
right. So I think lower CPI is obviously good for stocks and the gold market. So I'm happy. That shows that um, there's lower inflation. The economy isn't too robust, even with jobs growth with NFP the other week. So seems good to me. I'm just probably going to be holding on to gold. I have kind of a large stop in place, so I'm really letting this trade run. But as far as the bullish bias goes, I think I'm even more so today. I'm sticking with it. Even the Fed rate hike projections decreased again, so we're at like close to 80% think that we're going to pause. Last week it was in the low 70s, so feeling good about gold and risk on pairs in general. So
Yeah, no, it's I mean, in terms of gold after today, what's actually interesting to me, Frank, is that okay, we had cooler than expected inflation, and yet gold is still struggling to get back above these previous highs. Um, I mean, to me, this is bullish. I think underneath this area, and I could be wrong about this, of course, but I think under 1970 is still a bargain. After that number, I mean, what we just saw, to your point, is cooler than expected inflation in terms of the Fed's projections shows us that, like, hey, with these numbers, the Fed's probably going to be happy to just pause. And again, this is not not even speculation. As you mentioned, Fed projections just changed to even more likely that we see a pause, and yet gold is still underneath 1970. I personally think, and again, this is just an opinion, I could be wrong. I think that underneath here is a bargain, and any breakout is a pullback buying opportunity. Again, in my opinion, but with this number, this confirms to me that upside is more attractive than downside when it comes to gold, and quite the opposite for the dollar, right? I mean, the dollar breaking through the lows here today, and if this candle holds, which I think it will, we'll see how it plays out. I just think that this is a catalyst that actually could continue to push us lower in this dollar weakness. I don't see like a sudden burst in dollar strength. Of course, markets are crazy, and that certainly could still happen. But I like the catalyst to the downside, and price action looks really good. What's your take? Do you have a chart pulled up on the dollar? What's your take on the dollar right now?
dollar, not really. I've been bearish for a good bit, so I'm not really I'm not looking at it to trade really. Um, I think I drew this a little while ago on the 1 day chart. I think
Mm-hmm.
the way it's been moving is lower lows following up with higher highs, same thing as the S&P and gold sometimes too. So drawing this sort of megaphone pattern where it branches out and you have higher and lower levels all at the same time. I think gold is or not gold, dollar is probably going to complete this move and come down, test that, come back up for another test at resistance. Nothing really for dollar. I think COT is very mixed. There's still majority long. So I think we're just going to get a lot of range bound stuff for this. I'm more so looking at gold because I'm in that. I want to get in the S&P, but you caught that move way earlier than me, so I was looking at a pullback that never really came. But so dollar, not
Yeah.
really, but
I was going to say it's one of those things with something like the S&P 500. There are plenty of times where, for those of you guys who are newer to the content here, Frank and I have been trading for a long time, and it always seems like one of us has the trade and the other one doesn't one. It just so happens that this time around it's me. Sometimes I feel like, Frank, you've got the gold entry and I don't have it, or you have the S&P entry. And to be completely honest, the entry for me was pretty aggressive. You can see on the 4-hour candle, you can barely see the concept, right? Broke out, and in this candle, I just dropped it down to a lower time frame, dropped down to the 1 hour and the 30-minute chart, picked it up, and have held it since. But to be transparent, I had no idea that CPI numbers would come out cooler than expected. I was just mostly trading the directional trend on the S&P 500. We also saw yesterday, and Frank, you made this point about S&P, that in terms of smart money, big money really picked up their long positions on the S&P, and short positions decreased dramatically. But we talked about this after stream even yesterday, Frank. This has potential to be what we were kind of calling it to be like an unwind trade. Like what we have right now, guys, is that if you look at big money across the board, they're still very short, but that's flipping. So we're starting to see that ship, the Titanic of big money being short on S&P, starting to flip. Now we saw a little bit of an early warning sign with the Nasdaq, where the Nasdaq, very quickly was bought up by institutional traders. Now we're starting to see that trade kind of unfold on the S&P, where now you can see, if you're confused by this stuff, again, we're tracking the COT data. This is something that we do with our software, the EDGEFINDER. And the concept that we're doing here is that we're looking at the positioning of institutional money. It's still very short on the S&P 500, but it's gradually flipping to long. We see, again, a big increase in long positions and a big decrease in their short positions as of the most recent weekly reporting. So it's kind of an interesting concept. Frank, walk us through that, and what does that mean for indices as well as for like gold? That what could that unwinding trade mean for people who are watching it?
so yeah, last week we saw almost a 10% increase in sentiment shift, which doesn't necessarily turn something bullish or bearish, but it's a process. So we're looking at what we see here on the S&P is 67,000 long shares added, futures contracts on the open market from non-commercial, and at the same time they're taking away short contracts. So this is it's kind of like a double bullish move. You have an increase in long, a decrease in short. No mixed sentiment there. It's very clear that institutions are buying up into this week, and they're probably betting on a rate pause. And CPI was obviously very beneficial and helped reinforce that sort of theory. But what we're seeing now is, I think we're probably around, oh, my light went out. We're at like 22% long, I think, at the beginning of last week. So now we're looking at 30. So like an 8% increase is a huge jump in the overall sentiment of things when it comes to the S&P. So
Right.
yeah, if you pull up the chart at the bottom, if you scroll all the way down, there's it'll show you the net long and short positions, which
Mm.
looks to be not working. So we're gonna have to fix that. But you'll, in ideal lens, you'll see these yellow bars coming out from the chart, and they'll show you up or down. And the higher it is up, the more bullish it is, has more net long positions. And
Yeah.
then if it's below that horizon, more net short positions. But
Yeah.
yeah,
We'll
so
have to take a look. I think that data is coming in a little incomplete, but it happens. This is, everyday stuff with software dev stuff we have to constantly be fixing. But the point is, to your concept of, we're seeing a shift bullish. It'll be interesting to see if that persists. And it does seem like it was in anticipation for this week, where now, of course, S&P can't be stopped, it seems, and especially now that we have cooler inflation numbers. I want to bring in, of course, the one and only Mr. Tom, Simply Forex. We'll bring him into the mix and ask him what's going on. Hey, Tom, how are you?
Morning, gents. How are you?
Hey, Tom.
Good.
Yeah,
Good to have you back on the show, Tom.
Thanks
And
for having
what
me.
are you looking at as we go into? We had the CPI number come out cooler than expected. Do you have any trades on, or are you looking to take any trades?
So today, well, this morning I've been looking at Swiss franc weakness. Okay, so let me give you an example. There's a few trades I'm looking at, guys. So Euro Swiss franc, Aussie dollar Swiss franc, and New Zealand dollar Swiss franc. Obviously, all highly correlated, and just trying to trade the one that give me the best setup. But yeah, I like this trade. So Euro Swiss franc, yeah, we was in a downtrend. If we just follow this down, then it found itself into a bit of a range. It's always a massive red flag. If you're in a downtrend and it's not making lower lows, then chances are structured trend is going to change. Yeah, and it just didn't break these lows. Okay, and then eventually, you can see this large green candle that we had. Yeah, and it broke these last highs. Okay, if I zoom in a little bit, you can see that. So as soon as these highs are broken with this candle, we're not making lower lows. We now have a higher high. I love it on the day chart when it freshly breaks. Yeah, it's literally just broken structure, because you can get in, it's a great risk to reward potentially. And then all I'm looking for, guys, is an area to trade from. And this, this gray zone in here, again, what was once resistance, when it breaks that resistance and comes back. I know I talk about these setups a lot, but love them. Yeah, bread and butter. And then we got the reaction we was after. Look at this candle rejecting that area. And, I'm in this trade. Yeah, we're just trying to take it up to those last, well, I'll show you on the day chart. But yeah, just a great setup. And then on the day chart, we're looking to take price potentially back up to this blue line here, which is this last area of resistance. So yeah, and it's the same for Aussie dollar Swiss franc, New Zealand Swiss franc. If we look at this as well, so New Zealand dollar Swiss franc, yeah, we've literally just had a structure break here as well. So a similar scenario to Euro Swiss franc. Apologies if I sound slightly like Barry White today. I've done so much talking. And then we've had a break of this level. It was in a downtrend, again, not making lower lows. As soon as this candle breaks this level, I'm all over it. I'm just looking for buying opportunities. And my target is this blue area here, this 5,600. Yeah, so that's what I'm looking at. Swiss franc weakness is the same with Aussie dollar Swiss franc as well.
Fair enough. Yeah, no, good stuff there. And it does seem like the Swiss franc pair is having a lot of weakness. Strength. That is in exception to the dollar Swiss franc, of course, with the news that just came out. Dollar pretty much giving, and actually to your point, Tom, this is a 4-hour chart. We still see, despite all the dollar weakness, the Swiss franc seems to still be holding or getting beat down compared to the dollar in this latest candle. Swiss franc, an interesting one here, like you said, against most currency pairs, seems to be taking a little bit of a beating, given some upside to these pairs. And, it kind of makes sense, Tom, from a fundamental perspective. Something to note about the CHF, the Swiss franc, is that it's notoriously known as a risk-off currency, right? People in times of fear, they put their money in Swiss francs. And today's number, we talked about this earlier, and how important it is when you see major economic news coming out from the United States. People are often confused. They'll be like, why is this impacting my trade? makes a lot of sense if you think about global sentiment is getting a lift today due to the fact that inflation, as far as we can see, the Fed seems to be kind of winning the war there on that, right? They're kind of getting the numbers they want, and that's obviously going to release some tension from expectations of further rate hikes, and with it, risk on assets are going to generally get a lift. So it makes exact sense when we talk about dollar Swiss franc, which is also the dollar kind of that risk off currency as well, taking a beating, and so is the Swiss franc. So we're seeing risk off losing out today, and we're probably seeing some good lift to a lot of higher risk stuff like the indices. And just to side note, I know Frank and I are long Tesla, and Frank, we are still this thing does not want to quit. Side story, Frank, where are you at with Tesla? And do we start to take profits here? What do we do here with our trades? Frank and I are both long Tesla, and even though we don't usually talk stocks, I think it makes a lot of sense with Tom's idea with the CHF, risk off, risk on. Tesla is a notoriously risk on indicator by itself, even though it's a singular stock. What do you think, Frank, on Tesla?
So yeah, things like Tesla and a lot of growth tech stocks tend to move so quickly and really get overweight fast. So, it's like you said earlier, I think it was yesterday, we're not looking to buy low and sell high. We're looking to buy high and sell higher almost. So we got in at decent, positions, but at this point, is it like, do you let the winner keep running? Do you scale out? Like, what do you do? And I guess it just depends on how you feel about things. I may scale out depending on, where the market goes from here, but this week is very bullish overall. We are pretty much, if you look at like any news source, they'll tell you that we're out of this bearish market. We've officially entered a bull market. So just stocks overall seem pretty healthy to me. I'm for Tesla, for anything like that, what I struggle with is getting out of trades. So I think I'm better at picking an entry. So I think when it comes to stocks, at least, I like to scale in and out of things without ever really completely like closing out, just
Right.
yeah, just holding on to
Yeah,
winners and scaling in and out whenever I can.
it's an interesting concept because I know, of course, a lot of our audience does not trade stocks, and we have a very wide basket now, especially with all of the wonderful guests like Tom comes on. He'll talk euro pairs, he'll talk Swiss franc. I feel like he's very heavy on the currency pairs, and then I'm trading a lot of indices, and Frank, you're trading golden indices as well as some currency pairs. We've got all this variation, but to your point, and I want to come to Tom on this too. Exits are really, really important because if you're talking about, if you're a dollar bear today, a lot of people are going to ask, like, what do I do? Right? Let's say I've got something right. Let's say that I've been able to get some sells on the dollar and I've been right about this move, and now it's breaking out. What do I do? Do I take profits? Do I hold on to my winner and try and let it run? What if it reverses on me? It's a hard question to answer because, Frank, you pointed out that entries are typically the easier thing for you. Of course, entries are not easy by any means, but there is that common question of like, what do you do with a trade once you're in it? And it's so important to plan for these things. You mentioned with a stock, you may look to scale out. And I want to ask, again, a lot of our audience is currency traders. So let's ask Tom. Tom, how do you, I know you have a strategy, I've heard it before, but for people who may not, how do you scale out of a winner? I mean, you've got that Euro Swiss franc trade. Walk us through how you scale out or how you play a winner. Do you trail? Do you just have a hard take profit? Everybody has their own way, but let's hear yours, Tom. How do you play a winning trade?
Yeah, so it's an interesting one, and I most of the time with trading, in terms of my entries, I'm super rigid. But when it comes to managing a trade, scaling in, scaling out, I'm super fluid. like a lot of things in trading, there's a lot of contradiction, but yeah, very rigid entry plan. But when I'm in a trade or scaling in and out, it's important to be fluid, I think. So with regards to, coming out of a taking profit, for example, I'm in this trade, Euro Swiss franc, so far so good, things are going well. I entered roughly here, my stop's down here, okay? So what I do, guys, is once I get, if I zoom out a little bit so we can, let's see it on the H4 so we can see the bigger picture. So if I'm, okay, there we go. If I'm in this trade from here and my stop's here, once I get a risk to reward of 1:1, generally speaking, I will close 80% of my trade, okay? Because I like to secure profit. Who knows what, can happen? This is how I trade. I like to secure some profit. But that doesn't mean I won't re-enter that 80%. So let's say price comes up, it does this. Yeah, I take 80% profit. I'm still got 20% in the trade, and I will trail that stop. I'll trail it from here to here and so on. But as this pair comes up, I've taken 80%, but when price comes back down to potentially another entry to come higher, I can put all of that 80% back in the trade. I can put 50% of it back into this trade and, build on the winning trade again. Again, my stop generally is below the swing low on the H1. And long as that H1 structure is intact, I am still correct with this trade. So it's very fluid how I manage a trade. And I'll take profit, I'll re-enter that profit, I'll take some more profit, I'll re-enter that trade all the way up to here. So it may not be that clear how I do it, but the idea is to be fluid when you manage a trade. Rarely will I have enter, stop loss, take profit. I will be in and out of that trade many times and manage that trade. I would say that's my real skill in trading.
Yep. No, and I think that's certainly, I think for me, Tom, too, I would say I'm kind of the opposite as Frank, in the sense that entries for me, I get praise, I get hate. We all do when we're in this stuff. My entries are not the best. I mean, in this case, I had a really good one, but this is kind of the exception for me. Usually, entries are hard for me, and I very often have to take more than one entry. Everybody wants to be that sniper trader, but it's a lot easier said than done. Where I think I excel personally, similar to yourself, is more on the exit side of things. I have a pretty rigid way that I like to trail stops, and it allows me to capture a lot of profits, when a good move arises. Now, of course, it also sometimes gets me into frustrating situations where something pops, I trail a stop just a little bit, and I take a very tiny sliver of profit. And so there's pros and cons to absolutely everything. And by the way, guys, update on this trade. I actually have to trail my stop while we're speaking. So let me go ahead and do that. Stop loss just trailed. For those of you guys that are in the group, this S&P trade does not want to quit. And we just had a beautiful close on the hourly. New candles just started. Perfect close. This is exactly what we wanted here in terms of S&P. And again, I do want to just pause and say that this is a really exceptional trade for me. This is not my everyday trade. A lot of times you'll see people on the internet, and they'll have, just winner after winner. I have been having a good streak recently, but there are plenty of times where I get on these live streams. I'm saying this because we have a lot of new people on CPI days. A lot of people get excited. I'm not out here saying that, we're always winning. And to Tom and Frank's points, what I think is an exceptional thing to look for in traders like these two is when people are able to talk about their weaknesses. None of us play this stuff perfectly. When it works out, it's great, but there are often struggles. There's times where, oh man, I really should have trailed that a little bit tighter, or, oh my goodness, I should have, avoided this trade entirely. It didn't meet my rules. I've been doing this for 7-8 years and I still make mistakes, and I have, losses and stupid decisions, and this stuff never gets easy. You just get a little bit better over time. But that's my take on it. Again, Tom, Frank, I want to thank you guys both for coming on. I think that this was a really awesome stream in terms of, yes, we talked setups, we talked about what we're looking at and why we're taking the trades, but we also talked some education, which I think people appreciate in the audience. So Tom, Frank, thank you guys both for coming on the show. Before you step off, Tom, guys, check out Tom's channel. More educational value to be found there, as well as streams and all sorts of good content. If you liked Tom's commentary, make sure to go drop him a subscribe. His link is now in the chat right there, and you can find him there. Tom, thank you for coming on.
Cheers, Nick. Cheers, Frank. See you guys.
Bye, Tom. Good to see you.
All right. And Frank, you as well. Thank you for coming on as always, and good commentary there on the COT stuff. I thought that was really important, and hopefully we can do a little bit more of that in an upcoming show as well. We've got plenty of commentary coming for tomorrow with the Fed meeting, which we'll definitely have to get you in there a little bit and see your take as we tomorrow's aftermath with all the CPI stuff should be pretty interesting. So thank you for coming on, Frank, as well. And we'll see you back tomorrow as well.
Thanks.
All right. Yeah, guys. So just an update again on this S&P trade. I need to trail a stop. So for members out there, I'm trailing a stop right now. Give me a moment to set that up. I'm going to do that here while we're on live, because I know a lot of members watch these live streams. I am going to trail stop. So keep a tab open real quick. Just head over to Nick's Swing Trades here, and you can keep an eye on this. I am moving my stop loss just below the news low. So we secured a nice bottom on this candle here and shot off of that. If that gets taken out, I'll be taking my profits on this one. So let me go ahead and make sure that I get this updated to members. Again, S&P 500 trade. I'm still in it. I was able to survive all the CPI chaos, but I want to keep trailing this stop loss because we do have more news tomorrow. And you never know with Fed meetings, something can be said in a certain way that can cause the markets to go crazy. So this is why I personally, when managing trades, like to trail a stop on my positions. Let me make sure I get this out. Again, I am multitasking here the best I can. Let me just get a screenshot of this really quick. So we are taking a screenshot of this trade. And let me just get this in the group here. So show you this, guys. So I am trailing the stop here. Everything is all good. CPI gave a nice lift to the S&P trade. Congrats to the fellow bulls. Whoever caught this move, man, this was one heck of a move today. And I'm just going to try and lock in more on this trade. Floating in pip count. So I take the trade for confusion. I know people are saying this isn't, or people might be confused by what I'm trading. So as a US trader, I can't trade CFDs, but I mirror my trades in two brokerages. One that's CFDs just on a demo account, or on a, it's a very small live account, but my real trade size is just traded on a stock brokerage because legally that's what I can do as a US client. So the real trades go there. So I just trailed my stop and just update it. For those of you guys who are inside of the group, just head over to Nick's Trades. That should be updated for you with all the details. Let me just double check. Stop is in place. Wow, stop up to 4,300. For a little while, it seemed like a dream that the S&P could get above the 4,300 mark, and now look at it go. It is running. So guys, if you would like access to the trade alerts that are being sent, they come with full breakdowns. So a key thing to note about our trade alerts, we are not out here, promising any sort of get rich quick thing. We're having a really good couple weeks. And I right now, I think we're going to continue holding on to some of these winners. If you guys are not already in the group and you would like to join the Discord, it is a paid service, but it's well worth the money. You'll learn a lot. You'll meet a lot of great traders. If you're out there and you're trading alone, but you'd like to meet more people, this is the spot to be in. You'll be able to see all the trades that I take, as well as Frank, who was just on the show. You get to see his trades as well. He trades a lot of currency pairs and gold, as well as indices. And I trade mostly gold, indices, some currency pairs, mostly dollar pairs when I'm trading them. I also take position trades and options trades for those of you guys who are interested in options as well. I have I sold puts on silver, so I'm essentially bullish on silver, which is going very well as well. If you guys want access to the Discord sale we are doing right now during this crazy week, it's super hot in here, 50% off of the group right now. If you'd like access to the VIP, 50% off. You can actually get an extra discount during this stream if you message into the live chat support center. Again, click this link. It's in the chat. This is what it's going to do. You open it up and it will take you to a live chat support center. So click the link that's in the chat. Once you click that, it opens up this prompt. Click 50% off VIP signals. And if you do that right now while we are live, someone could get you an even bigger discount. It is a secret, extra special discount for people who message in to meet us. We do that because, again, we really appreciate the people who support our live streams here. And if you are a supporter, if you're somebody who's regular, we want to get you a membership because we want your action in the group anyways. We want more serious traders. And if you watch the show consistently, we know how serious you must be because, again, we're not out here showing Lambos or cars or anything like that. We're really interested in trading, and we're trading real money and putting our real, heart and soul into this group. So we're looking for more members. Message in right now if that's you, and you get 50+% off if you message the support center now. Thank you guys for tuning in today's live stream. I hope you got a lot out of it. It was a very eventful day, and look at gold trying to rally back. We'll be watching this one inside the group to see if we can catch longs. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll see you back tomorrow. What's up?
Dude, what happened to you?
Haven't you heard? It's the summer half off discount sale.
Oh, that's right, I forgot.
Right now only, get half off any of our VIP Discord memberships. These memberships include access to our signals, where you can get entries and exits from Frank and I, and full breakdown and analysis with each trade. You can learn our strategies in detail. You can learn how to get funded with our training material to help traders looking for funding. And you can also join the chat room community. We have several membership opportunities, so click the link and check them out for yourself. And remember, you get half off if you either message us or use the discount code you see on the screen now.